Can you imagine a world where everything is 3D printed? From the clothes you wear to the food you eat and even the house you live in? Welcome back, dear viewers. In today's video, we're going to explore the fascinating world of 3D printing and its potential to revolutionize manufacturing as we know it. Will we soon be able to print literally everything? Stick around to find out. And hey, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that you never miss any of our mind-blowing content. Now let's get started. So what's the real purpose behind 3D printing? Well, let me tell you, it's all about building objects layer by layer, like a meticulously crafted cake. Imagine a 3D printer laying down ultra-thin layers, one after another, until the masterpiece comes to life. Do you know exactly when 3D printing really started to make waves? It was around the turn of the century, when technology advanced enough to bring 3D printing back into the spotlight. In 2007, Stratasys unveiled the first consumer-friendly 3D printer, and that's when things really took off. Back then, people were mostly printing cute little plastic toys and models. Sure, they were mostly for industry pros, but they showed the world what 3D printing could do. Are you curious about the incredible things a 3D printer can bring to life? Well, let me assure you, there's no shortage of amazing creations that can be printed. Since 3D printers build objects layer by layer from the bottom up, they're able to craft a vast array of shapes and structures no matter how intricate or detailed they may be. Typically, people use a layer height of 0.2 millimeters, but for those who crave precision, it's possible to go as low as 0.05 millimeters per layer. Just keep in mind it'll take quite a bit longer to print. With the ability to print around or through any shape, 3D printers can handle curves, gaps, and sharp edges like pros. Here are just a few examples of the incredible items that have been 3D printed. Entire homes are built from the ground up. Sleek car exteriors are ready to hit the road. Beautiful acoustic guitars strike a chord with music lovers. All sorts of prototypes helping bring ideas to life. Detailed animal characters and models are perfect for collectors. Handy battery-sized converters turn AA batteries into C batteries in a snap. A secret key to a phone lockbox hidden away in another room. Tesla-inspired Cybertruck doorstops combine function and style. Custom DSLR lens caps protect your precious camera gear. Pet food dispensers are perfect for pets who love to gobble down their meals. Tissue-engineered heart valves, showcasing the potential of 3D printing in medicine. Replacement car radiator caps, proving that 3D printing is also practical. With such an incredible range of applications, it's clear that the world of 3D printing is only limited by our imaginations. So let your creativity run wild and explore the endless possibilities that 3D printing has to offer. There's no denying that 3D printing has opened up a world of possibilities that most of us could only dream of before. However, it's important to recognize that the technology does have its limitations. I'm confident that manufacturers will keep pushing boundaries and making remarkable progress in the world of 3D printing, but as it stands, there are still things that can't be printed. For instance, electronic components, wiring, motors, and drivers are beyond the scope of the extruded material used in 3D printing. However, the good news is that many mounts, holders, and connectors for these mechanical and electronic components can indeed be printed. Despite these limitations, people are finding innovative ways to use 3D printing in their everyday lives. From crafting their own prosthetic limbs and hearing aids, to creating fantastic cosplay costumes and accessories, and even making improvements to their homes, 3D printing continues to inspire creativity and ingenuity in ways we never thought possible. You may ask, if 3D printers are so amazing, why not just 3D print one? It's like the chicken and egg dilemma of the 3D printing world. But you know what? A high-quality 3D printer might just surprise you with its capabilities. Enter RepRap, a well-known 3D printer manufacturer that thought, why not give it a try? And guess what? They've come pretty close to making it happen. Now hold your horses. We can't 3D print a 3D printer entirely from scratch because, well, there are those pesky components like motors, drivers, and power supply units that just refuse to be printed. But when it comes to everything else, it's game on. Ever since RepRap's first foray into 3D printer printing, say that 3 times fast, other innovators have jumped on the bandwagon with their own twists on the idea, leading to even more efficient and easily replicable versions of the original concept. So while we might not be printing 3D printers from thin air just yet, we're definitely getting closer to some serious printing inception. Snappy, another well-liked 3D printer, features components that simply snap together without the need for any additional tools. Despite the fact that 3D printing is still a young technology, we have made great strides in this field. You might be wondering if you could strike it rich by printing your own money with a 3D printer. Unfortunately, that idea isn't quite as original as you might think. But more importantly, 3D printers aren't capable of producing currency, at least not yet. What they can do, however, is print lithophanes, which are a bit like 3D posters. Lithophanes are fascinating creations that transform 2D images into 3D models. They're particularly popular for embossing photos and designs onto various materials. What makes lithophanes so captivating is how they use the design and thickness of a print to display different shades. When light passes through the print, the resulting image is crisp, clear, and beautifully detailed. So while you might not be able to print your own money, you can still create some truly stunning works of art with a 3D printer. Did you think about how tiny an object you can create using a 3D printer? Would you believe it was smaller than the head of an ant? That's right, and artist Jonty Hurwitz is known for his incredible expertise in this area. He's the mastermind behind nanosculptures, which are the world's smallest sculptures made from 3D printed photosensitive material. These minuscule masterpieces are so small that they appear like a speck of dust floating in the air when held up to the light. In fact, they're no larger than the width of a human hair. Hurwitz used multiphoton lithography, a specialized form of 3D printing that draws from quantum physics through the absorption of 2 photons to create these tiny objects. This amazing feat showcases just how far 3D printing can go with the right investment in research and development. These astonishing nanosculptures are so small that you need a powerful microscope to see them. And we're not talking about the kind with 400 times magnification that you'd find in a jeweler's shop. It took a 30-year veteran in the study of human cells to save up for the equipment needed to capture a high-resolution photograph of these intricate and tiny works of art. So the next time you think about the limits of 3D printing, remember these incredible nanosculptures. You might be wondering if it's possible to print something larger than the 3D printer itself. While 3D printers have limitations due to their build volumes, you can certainly print smaller pieces that can be assembled to create a larger object, just like a 3D printer can replicate itself. Take the RepRap Snappy, for example. It's a self-replicating 3D printer that consists of smaller plastic pieces all fitting within the build volume. These pieces then snap together to form the larger structure. So do replicating printers only print the individual parts needed for assembly, or is there a separate step? Well, when people create elaborate costumes, like an Iron Man suit or a Stormtrooper outfit, they usually design the entire model before splitting it using a slicer tool. Innovative methods have been developed to overcome the limiting build volume of the 3D printer. For instance, objects designed to snap together like a complete 3D printer frame can still be printed, and if your creation requires screws and threads, you can even 3D print those components yourself. So even though a 3D printer has its limitations, with a bit of creativity and ingenuity, you can achieve impressive results and create larger objects by assembling smaller printed pieces. Are you ready to step into a world where your wildest ideas can become reality thanks to the magic of 3D printing? What would you create if the only limit was your imagination? Let us know in the comment box below. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more exciting videos on 3D printing.